So let's go ahead and start working on the reflection A3 sampling methods. So we're going to need to know what the different sampling methods are, and I'm hoping my word wall, the vocabulary that I've shared will be helpful. So it says, this should say they number all of the schools that administer the exam. Sorry, that was right, actually. They do a random drawing of schools and then survey every student at each school selected. Name the sampling technique used. So let me go ahead and put a couple of sampling techniques down here. So I'm on the Kami, so you'll be able to see this. We've got cluster samples. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. So that's a cluster sample. That's the first one alphabetically. There we go. And we also have, where's my stratified sample? Drawing a systematic sample. Oh, stratified sample. Here we go. Here's another method we use. And here is the systematic sample, which honestly is pretty straightforward. Almost no one messes the systematic sample question. So there we go. So these are the three main sampling methods we use. All right. Let me go ahead and size these out so they kind of fit together. Here we go. So there's stratified and there's cluster. All right. So they're listed alphabetically. All right. So how does it work? So cluster is where you pick a few groups, you randomly pick them, and then you do everyone. So you see that sort of everyone in the selected groups. That's the important part. And you can probably tell, hey, that sounds like this one. They pick a few schools and then they do everyone. So we're going to call this one a cluster sample. Oops, I was hoping it was going to let me click. All right, I'm going to pause. I'll be back with a version that'll let me click. And we're back. So this is the one. They do a random and then survey every student. We said we were going to put a cluster on this, and you should be able to hit submit answer. And it should show a check mark. All right. They number all of the students who took the test and use a random number table to select the sample. Name the sampling technique. So this is the most simple method. Let's see if I have a good, oh yeah, I do have that. I forgot to include that. So this is the basic go-to method. The simple random sample. Oops, didn't need to do that. Basically, you're putting everybody in a hat, mixing it all up. It's the simplest method to do. Sometimes it involves a little work, but technically it's the simplest method to do. So that is called a simple random sample. All right. Then we have, they go to the high school in the same town and give a survey to all of the AP Stat students there. Name the technique used. So I would actually say, let me go ahead and add a page. There we go. Ignore that. Wait a sec. There we go. You can see my renewal's overdue, but definitely I'm going to keep my Kami. All right. I am renewing. So this one is basically, let me go ahead and see if I can find the, we're doing everyone. So that's actually not a random sampling technique. That is something when you can get all the data, luckily, let's see, there we go. I'm just looking for my words, design studies. Where's my word wall? Oh, that's why I can't see it. I'm not in my word wall. There we go. Word wall. Sorry. Give me a sec. So we have a census is what we're doing. Here we go. Maybe, there we go. I got a census. Boom. That's a census. So basically you collect data from everyone. That's a census. And let's go ahead and click census. Where are we? Wait. Name the same systematic. Oh, and give a survey. They go to the high school. Okay, so this one's tricky because, let me go ahead and go back to my sampling methods. This one's actually, I don't think I have a word for this one. Well, at least not a picture. This is basically convenience sampling because they're not using any randomization. They're kind of taking a sample, but they're not doing everybody. Well, they're doing everybody here, but they're just going to something convenient. So we're going to say that's a convenience sample. All right. Oh, you can see what time it is. All right. So I'll hit submit. Now, if they were doing the entire population, then it would be a census. But first of all, you can see census is not an answer choice. So there you go. All right. They are able to determine the college majors for the students. They decide to survey an equal number of students in each of the following majors: natural sciences, engineering, computer. So it's like they're doing multiple samples. And the one that is like multiple samples, so they're like you're doing the natural science majors and another one for the other majors, that one is stratified. And the strata are the majors. So we're going to put stratified on here and check our answer. All right. They decide to survey every 50th student who registers for the test. So every time you see something like that, every nth, it's automatically systematic. So what does that look like? Here, I'll go ahead and submit it. What does systematic look like? Well, systematic is like you have a list and you do, let's see, oh, did I do, systematic should be here. Yeah, you basically do every nth. So if I were to pull in a picture, let me pull the random. Let me show you a picture of systematic, where I think is the easiest way to view systematic. Here we go. This is a nice picture of a systematic sampling. See how you're doing every nth person? So the only random part you do there is you just pick where you start and say, I'm going to do every 10th person. So you randomly pick your starting point. So it's a good method, like at cafeteria lines, people coming out of a business or a polling location. That is typically what will be done, as long as you know that there's no reason for there to be a very big pattern on this. All right, so we're done with question 1. Now we're on to question 2. Determine if the following question is gathering data for a quantitative or categorical variable or does not represent a value. So categorical and quantitative. So let me pull those words up in. So that is basic terms. So we have categorical and quantitative. Do I have it? Here we go. Actually, this one will work. Now, sometimes they say qualitative, but actually, really, we say categorical. We almost never say. I think your book might have said qualitative, which is why it's there. But, so categorical is things like make, color, model, vehicle type. So you're not going to answer with a number per se. The other one is quantitative, where you are providing a measurement, a number. So like total mileage, MPG, towing capacity, age, book value, all that sort of stuff. That's quantitative. So what are they asking? Are you in sports? So you're not going to say 5. You're going to say yes or no. All right. Now you are trying to determine the percent of students who read comic books. Which would be an appropriate survey question? So the trick on this is to remember that the student has to be able to answer the question. So if I go to a student and say, how many of the students read? They're like, well, I don't know. Now, if I ask them, do you read comic books? Yes, they know the answer to that. All right. What kinds of comics do you read? Well, that's a good question too. All right. Do you read? But this one wouldn't work. How many students read comics? Now, if you're trying to determine the percent of students who read comic books, you just need a yes or a no. So the do you read comic books would be the best question there. So what variable would it identify? Who reads comics? Not the number who reads comics, because each person is yes or no. They're not putting numbers in there. They're just saying yes or no. Later, we'll count how many read comics. And then determine if the variable is quantitative or qualitative, which is basically categorical. So we would say categorical and submit answer. And that should be all correct. Yay, we got them all right. Okay, you're trying to select 1 out of 100 individuals using the following random numbers. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pull this one in because it's nice for me to be able to mark up the numbers on the number line. So I'm going to just pull this in here. Here's the problem. Boom. All right. So we're going to use 2 digits, and 00 would be individual 100. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pen and mark them off. So there's person 34. There's person 91. All right. So this sounds pretty simple. Looks like it's, oh, sorry. That's not what I wanted to do. It's the second person. That's not my answer. I'm trying to find the answer. Where is my eraser? There we go. That's not what I meant. Person 91 should be the person that I'm doing next. Now, if I had fewer than 100 individuals, like if I had 80, it would not be person 91. It would be, maybe person 46. So let's go ahead and put that answer in. So that should be a very straightforward one. Submit answer. Better make sure we get it right. If we don't, I'll be embarrassed. Oh, there we go. Now, this one's probably more interesting. So I gave you an easy one, right? So you are expected to be able to use random numbers to pick an appropriate number or individuals. So let's go do this one. All right, and I'll paste it here. And now we've got our people here. What individual would be the first repeat? So I've got my pen. So we've got person 2, person 36, person 82. So when they go across this, just combine the numbers there. Person 13. Oh, person 82. We got a repeat right there. Boom. That is the first repeat. So we'll go ahead and say person 82, submit our answer. And lo and behold, it's right. So describe 3 things you learned or 1 thing you struggled with. Hopefully you learned something about the different sampling methods. So you could say something like, oh, cluster is when we randomly select a group and then survey everyone in the selected groups. Now, I'm not going to do this whole thing for you. So you have a couple options. You could add 2 more things or you could just give me something you struggled with, and that would be fine. So homework was very quick today.